has a fight record, 34 fights, 16 wins, 18 losses, 6 wins by way of KO. From Thailand, Congrit Nanakor. His opponent in this international cruiserweight contest, weighed in at 90.6 kilos, 190 centimeters in height, and 22 years of age. He comes from your next door neighbor from Kuala Lumpur, where he's trained there by Alex Valentin and Alex's gym in Kuala Lumpur. A fight record, 1 fight, 1 win, Muhammad Meeraj. Your referee for this contest, Mr. Frank Hadley. Your judges, Mr. Rama Shah, Amal Abdullah, Sahara Muhammad.
Oh, look at my boys in red.
Fighters to center ring, please, for instructions.
So Meeraj taking his time, getting his gear off and getting ready to fight. He's decked out in his black and red trunks. Meeraj from Malaysia lives in Australia right now. Frank Hadley, who's in his 4th fight already, and is speeding up Meeraj, who's kind of casual here.
Protect yourselves at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Touch him up. Go back to the corner, come out when the bell rings.
No hugging, just fighting.
All right, so we're set to go with this 4-round cruiserweight battle. Again, Meeraj is taller. The weight's about the same. Meeraj is only 22 and Nanakor is 40. I mentioned that Nanakor, the southpaw, is kind of an opponent-style fighter, and you can kind of look at his midsection right away and tell that he's not in great shape, Mark.
Yeah, there is what Australians would call love handles, a parrot, red trunks, gold piping.
Okay, break.
Is
Step back.
Nanakor, Congrit Nanakor. In fact, Julian, you're telling me with the Thai fighters, it's correct actually just to call them Congrit, correct?
That's
By
right.
the first name?
That's right, yeah. That's the usual system. So Congrit, he's throwing a few punches now. He seems to have found a little bit of a rhythm, but Meeraj is trying to press him as well.
And again, I keep going back to, and a lot of these younger fighters that we've seen, some of them not so young, as Nanakor is actually 40 years of age, but he doesn't have a good jab, and that's why he's not winning fights. Meeraj is kind of a gawky-looking guy. He's got the hands outside. He's the type of guy with that height that you really wouldn't want to fight. He gives a lot of movement, a lot of angles. He bounces left, he bounces right, then he stands right in front of the guy, and he doesn't jab and lets Nanakor come in on him.
Could be very wrong, but Congrit to me, although with a, like a 50-50 record, win-loss against a very much younger opponent in Meeraj, in round 1, and that could change very quickly because, as you mentioned, he's carrying a little around the midsection, but he's definitely got a power advantage. I'm going to say that from the start.
But again, neither guy really using the jab. And just as I say that, Meeraj does that, and he's able to jab, and back it right up to the ropes and hangs on. Frank Hadley tells him to separate, but he says, don't throw punches when you are backing up. When I tell you to separate, don't throw any shots. But remember, the fighter's got to protect themselves at all times, as Ortiz found out against Mayweather.
Yes, he did.
Okay, break.
Yes, he did.
This is round number 1. It's scheduled for 4. We've had 2 knockouts so far this evening in 3 fights, so we'll see what happens in this one. Nanakor, 16 wins, 18 losses, only 6 knockouts. So, for a guy that's as beefy as he is, he doesn't have a lot of power. And the reason he doesn't have power is because he doesn't put punches together in bunches. He kind of waits for Meeraj to come in on him. Meeraj ties him up. This isn't what you'd call a crowd pleaser to this point, but let's see if Meeraj can use some of his, kind of a showmanship to turn this thing around for himself and really capture the eyes of the judges.
Okay, break.
Mark Warren with the Colonel. At ringside, Marina Bay Sands, Dragonfire in conjunction, Angelo Hyder, Mr. Raja Octo Sapta presents Dragonfire. A second time in 12 months from the Marina Bay Sands. Round 1 action, Meeraj in the black and red trunks and Nanakor with the red and yellow trim. 40 years of age, plays 22, and a tough one to judge round number 1.
Well, this round, I believe, is going to go all the way to Meeraj because Nanakor just hasn't landed anything so far, so we'll see how it goes. Julian, I'd like to get your score, too. You're pretty astute in scoring.
Yeah, I think that one's Meeraj.
Hello, Scotty.
The Thai, he's using his experience just to do enough to stay out of trouble if he can, but he's not really been positive enough, Meeraj. Whatever action there is, he's the one who's forcing the action.
I just thought I saw some big punches early. There's that left hand.
Yeah, there were early punches, no question about it.
You're probably right. You're both probably right.
Well, none of us were right.
Hang on.
None of us were right in the last fight. The judges just
And Julian's too scared to say anything against the Hall of Fame. Let's be very honest. I'm sitting between Julian Turner and the Colonel Bob Sheridan, and I try to spice it up just a little, and I'm outnumbered.
But Mark, let me tell you something here. I have absolutely no power in Singapore, and your man Julian is the sports editor of the local newspaper here, the Straits Times. So I have no power. He's got the power here.
The pen is lighter than the sword.
Time. That's it. Here we go. Round number 2. Scheduled for 4 rounds. Meeraj from Malaysia, lives in Australia. He's decked out in the red and black trunks. And Kumgit Nanakorn, the experienced Thai fighter who didn't do much in the first round. He's a southpaw. He doesn't jab at all. He doesn't throw many right hands down the middle. And he doesn't throw any left hands down the middle, which is what he needs to do. Now he gets into it a little bit, but Meeraj keeps the pressure on him. When Meeraj comes in, Nanakorn hangs on immediately. Hooked by Meeraj, blasted to the body. Good shots upstairs. There's a left hook, right hand, kind of caught him with a bit of the forearm. Nanakorn not doing much at all. Colonel Bob Sheridan here along with Mark Warren and Julian Turner. So glad that you can be with us wherever you're watching around the world. Our fighters in the ring. Mohammed Meeraj having a real good first round, and I think he's leading here definitely in the second round with a minute gone anyway.
Well, my game plan has gone out the window. Meeraj coming forward and my man out of the first round, Nanakorn on the back foot. But I've got to say this to all of our viewers around the globe, let's not forget, 2 world titles not too far away. One of the most exciting fighters on the planet, Chino, Dow Jordan, and of course the WBA Fighter of the Decade, the Dragon Chris John. A massive night of boxing from the Marina Bay Sands.
Oh yeah, well, I can't wait for the big fights to come up, and then Jimmy Lennon Jr., the classiest ring announcer of them all, is going to be announcing the 2 world championship fights. Not that there's anything wrong with Phil Player, but Jimmy is a world-class ring announcer.
Somebody pinched me, I'm dreaming. I'm sitting with the Colonel and I'm throwing to the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
All right, as round 2 continues here. We're at the beautiful, beautiful Marina Bay Sands in Singapore. This is a wonderful venue for a fight. The crowd not into this one too much, but they will be as they continue to come in for the 2 main events of the evening.
Jersey Boys is on here in the convention center. I think Santa Claus the theater is also on. And the crowd's starting to build here at the Marina Bay Sands, Colonel, and it's a beautiful amphitheater they've put together here across the road from the towers.
It is fantastic. Okay, round 2 continues on with about 34 seconds to go. Not a real lot of action in here, and that's because Nanakorn really is coming here to survive as opposed to trying to win this fight. And that's the type of fighter he is at age 40. He's looking for more of a payday and trying to be a competitive fighter and last the 4 rounds against Meeraj. Is doing everything he can, but he hasn't been able to drop him or really hurt him with any of his shots, left or right hands, and good body shots and good left hooks.
But again, Pat Kennedy has done an amazing job in matchmaking.
Oh yeah, Pat. I can't believe what all of them have done with the Dragon Fire because of the opponents that they have in the main events. But this is a different sort of fight here. Meeraj and Nanakorn. You think Nanakorn would be a little bit more aggressive, but again, he's in survival mode. That's what he wants to do. That's what opponents do.
That's right. He's just content to last the distance in this one, and that's also a good experience for Meeraj because he hasn't. This is only his second fight. He's still learning the pro game, and he's picking up little things. And Congrit's probably giving him an experience that will help him in his own career.
Yeah, I had him 4-0 as an amateur fighter, and then 1-0 as a professional fighter. So, very, very interesting guy. Look at this replay, and you see why I gave that round to Meeraj. I mean, Meeraj is doing just everything right there. How about her? Las Vegas has got nothing on that beauty, I'll tell you. The reason I mentioned Las Vegas is because it's my hometown, and I'm so blown away by this Marina Bay Sands in Singapore. It's as nice as anything I've ever seen in Las Vegas, and I've been a resident of Las Vegas for a lot of years. Called a lot of fights there, and I'm thrilled to be in Singapore and be part of this wonderful, wonderful experience of bringing boxing to Singapore. All right, this is round number 3. It's scheduled for 4. It's been all Meeraj so far. Let's see if Nenekon really wants to get into the fight. As Meeraj tries to tee off on him now, catches him with a pretty good left hook. The left hook is there again. He's just covering up, loads up the right hand, pushes him back, nails him with the left hand, back up with the right hand. And now let's see if he lands the nice stiff jab. And he's saying, what do I have to do to drop this guy, Julian?
That's right. He's pouring everything on. I mean, when he sees an opening, he's going straight for it. But Concrete is a tough guy. I mean, he looks as though he can take punches all night.
Well, his face is real puffy, and he's been eating leather from the hands of Meeraj. Meeraj wants a hot dog at every once in a while. He's leaning in now. What he needs to do is just do what he's been doing and load up that right hand. Let's see if he does it. Now he takes a step to his right. As finally Nenekon gets out of it, his face is all puffy. His eyes are all puffy underneath him. He hasn't been knocked off his feet yet, so he is some kind of tough. And once again, Meeraj goes back to work on him. Left hook, to the right ear.
Come on.
Nenekon with his back to the ropes now. And here comes Meeraj. He sticks out that stiff jab. Let's see if the right hand's there. And it is. He bangs him twice with straight right hands.
He's going to improve, isn't he? He's going to improve, Meeraj. He looks like an awkward fighter, but he's got nice height. He's got a long reach. He's got a long way to go, but he's got some basics there.
Yeah, in his second professional fight, he can learn an awful lot. He had a short but distinguished undefeated amateur career. So, I mean, this kid can fight, and he is every bit of what you said. He's an awkward, gangly sort of guy. Likes to kind of shape it up a little bit, but he's okay. Yeah, he's an ugly fighter, but ugly fighters can win.
I didn't mean it literally, Julian. It's a boxing terminology. Julian Turner from the Straits Times, the chief sports correspondent, the Brit expat based out of Singapore, Mark Warren, the Colonel, and as I mentioned, Julian Turner from the Straits Times in Singapore for 2 co-features, or a co-feature main event, one with Dow Jordan as he puts his IBO title on the line, and the other, the WBA Fighter of the Decade, the Dragon Chris John. Dragon Fire Promotions from the Marina Bay Sands.
All right, action continues with about 40 seconds to go here in the 3rd round of a scheduled 4-round feature here in the cruiserweight division. Big Meeraj blasts at Nenekon again. Nenekon with his back to the ropes, tries to fight out the ropes, and tries to spin Meeraj, but all he does is hang on to him. Meeraj just gives in to him.
Come on.
That's the crowd's attention. Now he's back with the jab, and that's what Meeraj needs to do. Just keep doing that. Wild with the right hand goes Meeraj as it sails over the head of Nenekon. Nenekon now does what he always does. He just stands flat-footed and invites Meeraj in. Meeraj placates him as he nails him with that straight left, and then he misses it with the right uppercut, pushes it back to the rope, and referee Frank Heather, who's done an outstanding job tonight, refereeing every single fight. He's got to be exhausted when this one is over. Round 3 is in the books. Another one from Meeraj.
We want to see the other corner.
And a big good evening as it gets on towards 12:15 Eastern Australian time, and to our Armenian Australian, or Australian Armenian, take whichever you will. We've had him since 2000, the Raging Bull, Victor Chinian, and back in a big way with that big win over Luis Orlando Duval in the US back in September. The Raging Bull back on the scene.
Now you took a look at the replay here, Meeraj just loading up shots, and if you notice Nenekon hardly throwing anything, Julian. He is what we described in between the last 2 rounds. He's just here as an opponent.
That's right. I mean, he's content to survive, but I mean, he's doing his job. He's not quitting. He's staying in there, and he's teaching this young prospect a lot of things just by moving around and giving him something difficult to think about all the time.
Yeah, well, I give Pat Kennedy a lot of credit because it's exactly the type of fighter that you want to give a prospect in his second professional fight, and it's working out well for him because Nenekon, one thing, you can't knock the guy down. At least he hasn't been down this far in the fight, and he's taken some pretty good shots. His face is all puffy, his eyes are swollen, and now he finally throws a straight left hand. That's the power shot for the southpaw. He feints. Now he comes with an uppercut. He's decided to fight just a little bit in this first minute of the 4th and final round of this fight. Colonel Bob Sheridan here, along with Mark Warren and Julian Turner. We're at the beautiful Marina Bay Sands Hotel here in Singapore. There's a hard shot by Nenekon, so he is getting some shots off, Julian, in this round.
That's That's right, he's still in there, and he always poses a threat, you know. He's a big guy, so he must have some power behind those shots. And Meeraj has to be careful he doesn't get caught with something silly when he's winning this fight quite easily.
Yeah, and while Nanakorn's a little beefy around the middle, he's got big, strong shoulders, and he has got some power.
He has got power. We saw it early in round one, and I no doubt there's some experience there. Obviously, the CV said that. So does the birth date. Meeraj, the busier of the fighter. I can just sense that Nanakorn trying to get one off, or is he totally gassed? And merely an opponent, 40 years of age. And Meeraj want to be very careful standing with experience with the hands by his side. He's not an experienced punch-for-pay fighter, and that can be a deadly mistake.
Well, you don't want to, when you're in this kind of control, but you're only in your second pro fight, you don't want to hot dog it too much. You want to make it a definitive win, because he's got to know that we've got some inexperienced judges here. They're doing the best they can. They're recently trained. They've got everything pretty good tonight. One fight we sort of disagreed, but there were two close rounds in that fight, so I'm not disagreeing with them all. Nice shot that time by Meeraj. Meeraj set up right in front of him. No movement at all by Nanakorn. He's just standing there, taking these shots now from Meeraj. Meeraj moves in, touches him up with the left hand, looking at the lower right hand, and that time it sails past the hand of Nanakorn.
Inside the last 50 seconds of round number 4, and up next, our 5th fight of the evening, a junior middleweight contest, the 6 3-minute rounds. Arnel Timothy versus Yusuke Karima in a junior middleweight contest. That's next for you for Dragonfire Promotions from the Marina Bay Sands here in Singapore. And Nanakorn, as the Colonel has said, now just doing what he needs to do to soak up the clock as we go inside 20 seconds of round number 4. The sweat you can see coming off the back of the clothes of the referee, Frank Hadley. Let me tell you, it's hot up there under the bright lights. He was
Come on!
By Meeraj.
Come on!
He goes after him to try and finish the fight.
Okay, so he comes in. We were staggered, but he's tough, and the bell catches up with him. He's all right. You almost had him out there.
Not quite. We go to the judges' scorecards, but I've got no doubt Julian Turner, Colonel Vibe, I'll let you guys...
Hello, Scotty!
Right. I just thought he might have had a bit of power in the first round, but the kid, 22 years of age, Mohammed Meeraj, too good. Youth versus experience and age. And tonight, Concrete Nanakorn, no disrespect, but came to survive.
That's right, and I mean, Meeraj is the prospect. He's done 4 hard rounds, and that'll have taught him a lot more than having somebody who couldn't fight and then blasting him out in the first 30 seconds.
There was some lovely package work by our production team. Andrew McDonald with the presentation of the trophy at centre ring.
Well, no, we don't want to go to the presentation until we get the official scoring from our ring announcer, Phil Player. We know what the results is, but they haven't made it official, so we'll wait for the official scoring, and as soon as Phil has it... By the way, I've got it scored 40-36. I don't think there's any question about this one. The judges, because they're all very definitive rounds in favor of Meeraj. But let's make it official. Here's Phil Player.
Ladies and gentlemen, this 4th bout of the evening was scored. Judge Ahmed Shah scored at 36-40. Judge Manaf Abdallah scored at 36-40. Judge Nanakorn Samad Mohan scored at 37-39. A majority decision to the blue corner from Malaysia.
Yay! Woo!
Mohammed Meeraj, the cruiserweight, takes the victory.
All right, let's go for the trophy presentation. Here's Phil Player.
Mr. Andrew McDonald, please, to present the trophy.
Okay, so Mohammed Meeraj gets his majority decision, and he also gets a beautiful trophy presentation. Here's our next fight of the evening. It's Yusuke